A very pleasant afternoon to everyone present here. To introduce you to the next session of AILF, I would like to quote a few famous words. कहा जाता है कि ज़िंदगी जीने के दो तरीके होते हैं, या तो एक कोने में बैठ के रो लो या हर कोने में लड़ने की क्षमता रखो। और आज हमारे साथ दो ऐसे व्यक्ति हैं, दो ऐसे ही हस्ती हैं जिन्होंने दुनिया के हर कोने में लड़ने का ऑप्शन चूज़ किया है। So first of all, I would like to introduce and welcome Prince Manvendra Singh Gohil, who is the Prince of Rajpipla, an erstwhile princely state of Gujarat. And it is our foremost fortune to be in the same state as the highly reputed, openly gay first prince of the world. Please welcome him with immense round of applause. Prince Manvendra has been a foremost activist for the LGBTQ community, establishing the Lakshya Foundation in the year 2000. The foundation works towards the sexual health preservance of the community and works in 3 prominent cities of Gujarat, which are Vadodara, Surat and Rajkot. In a world where we cannot accept different countries living right beside us, here are people who are striving to show us how we should appreciate and accept the people right beside us. The next, we have the moderator of the session, Mr. Prakhar Sharma, who is the founder of Hunar Manch. He's a skilled conversationalist and storyteller with a background in cinema and screenwriting. He has worked as a copywriter, ad film writer, and journalist, interviewing artists and actors. He founded Hunar Manch, an organization that showcases art. His mission is to share captivating stories and enrich the world through meaningful conversations. You know what? In a world where war reigns the world, we are now in a time that requires us to love the mankind. And loving the mankind needs a huge heart. And And the heart of a mankind can be huge, but it is incomplete without art. So here we have 2 people who encourage us to have a huge heart and to accept all kinds of art within that heart. So please welcome and please accept the grace that they are going to present through the conversation about being compassionate to the communities of the world and looking beyond the boundaries. Let us welcome with grace the essence of compassion, the essence of samvedanshilta that the mankind needs in this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for so kind words. It was really indeed a great introduction. And बहुत ही खुशी हो रही है यहाँ पर आप सभी को देख के। प्रांगण में उपस्थित साहित्य प्रेमियों को मेरा प्रणाम। मैं प्रखर हूँ, एक पत्रकार हूँ। लोगों से प्रश्न पूछना मेरा पेशा भी है और मेरा शौक़ भी। शायद इसलिए सेशन मॉडरेट करने की जिम्मेदारी मुझे मिलेगी। और मानवेंद्र जी के साथ ये पहली बार ऐसा मौका मिल रहा है कि जब हम किसी टॉक में मॉडरेट मैं कर रहा हूँ और हम किसी विषय पे बात करने जा रहे हैं। तो हम ये सेशन की शुरुआत करें सर। उसके पहले कंपैशन, बिल्डिंग कंपैशनेट कम्युनिटीज़। मैं भी हुनर मंच के माध्यम से कम्युनिटी बनाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ पिछले 1 साल से। आप इतने साल से अलग अलग लोगों को प्रोत्साहित कर रहे हैं कम्युनिटीज़ खड़ी करने में, इवन LGBTQ कम्युनिटीज़ हों या हर शहर में कहीं ना कहीं आप जब भी यूथ से मिलते हैं तो यदि मैं आपसे पूछूं कि कम्युनिटीज़ में कंपैशन, आपके लिए कंपैशन की परिभाषा क्या है?
A very good afternoon to all of you. We will keep it partly in English and partly in Hindi because I see there are some people from Africa, I'm guessing, So, so welcome to all of you. And so we will have it in English and Hindi so that, it would be fair for all the communities sitting over here. When we are talking about compassion and we are talking about communities, I think it is important that we understand that there are some people sitting in this audience who do not understand Hindi. So I think that is the first lesson of being compassion. So, हाँ, कंपैशन की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं तो मैं समझता हूँ, ये आपने सही कहा कि मैं बहुत लोगों से मिलता हूँ. आई मीट पीपल हु आर यंग, I meet people who are old, I meet people who are of different backgrounds, from politicians, religious leaders, media, famous stars like Oprah Winfrey, Kardashians, I've met all of them. So, but compassion मेरे हिसाब से क्या है कि first you need to understand yourself first. पहले अपने आप को समझो, अपने आप को समझने की कोशिश करो, and try to find out about the other person. कि सामने वाले व्यक्ति क्या है, कौन है, उसके अंदर जाके देखो कि what is that person, find out about that person's struggles in life, उसकी what are that person is undergoing, then you will be able to understand that person better. तो वो मेरे हिसाब से एक ज़रूरी है. that has been my learning experience. जब भी मैं लोगों को मिलता हूँ, for me everyone is same. मुझे कई लोग बोलते हैं अरे आप इतने बड़े फैमिली से this that. I said no, I believe in equality. There is no upper and lower and that all that. हम सब एक हैं, मेरे भी दो आँखें हैं, आपकी भी दो आँखें हैं. You know, so there is no difference of being up and low and down and high and up. You know, we are all equal. Yeah.
As you said that compassion often begins at individual level, right? So what advice would you give to those individuals who are making, who are trying and who are thriving to make an impact in the society and the communities, despite, because I say this, like there are also a lot of people who are facing some sort of prejudice, some sort of, oppression in their sort of life. So what advice would you give to them?
See, since I work a lot with the LGBT community, so I can talk more on that aspect and give you examples from that. I run an organization called Lakshya Trust. मैं एक संस्था चलाता हूँ Lakshya Trust नाम से, जो गुजरात की पहली organization है. The first organization in Gujarat state to start working for the LGBT community. We started 23 years back, and we are being funded and supported by the government of Gujarat for HIV programs and all. तो हम लोग को बहुत लोगों से मिलना होता है, तो मैं एक सीधा सा एडवाइस सबको देता हूँ कि अबाउट जो अभी हमने इसके पहले वाला सेशन जो सुना, उसमें आई ऑलवेज टेल पीपल डू नॉट जज अ पर्सन. जैसे कहते हैं ना कि डोंट जज द बुक बाय द कवर, है ना, ऐसा एक कहावत है ना. So similarly, don't judge a person by when you meet that person and say that ये ऐसा है वो ऐसा है. But try and understand, वो व्यक्ति को समझने की कोशिश करो कि for example transgenders की बात लेता हूँ. I mean, I'll be very honest with you. When I was a child, मैं जब छोटा था, I was literally scared of transgenders. मुझे, and among the transgenders, if I say very specifically the Hijra community, I was damn scared. I was so scared of them. My nanny, my governess who was taking care of me, she used to literally threaten me. खाना खाओ नहीं तो मैं हिजरे को बुलाता हूँ. And then I would quietly eat the food because I was very scared of the Hijras. But then imagine I grew up and I started an organization, Lakshya Trust. Today I am proud to say I am working for 800 transgenders in the state of Gujarat. 800 transgenders are working. I have got staff who are transgenders who are working for me. Some of them are computer literate also. They are learning, they know how to operate computers. There are people working in many other fields. So you have to not assume that a person को आप जैसे रूप में देखो, अरे हिजरा है ना, क्या करेगा, रोड पे भीख मांगेगा, टोल नाके पे मिलेगा, ट्रेन में भीख मांगता दिखेगा, वो हमारा assumption है, But we have to, it is beyond that. Transgender can also be a doctor. Transgender can be a scientist. Transgender can fly. I have a transgender friend who's a pilot. He's flying the aeroplane. Why can't he? So we have to go beyond that and look at that person.
आपने कहा डोंट जज ए बुक बाय इट्स कवर। ऐसे एक किस्सा आपके साथ आपकी लाइफ में भी हुआ था, जब हम लंच ले रहे थे तब हमने उस पर बात करी थी कि आपने कहा है कि आप आपके एक एसेसिन से मिले थे, और वो मुलाकात ऐसी रही कि अब आप चाहते हैं कि आप ऐसे बहुत सारे आपके एसेसिन से आप मिलें, कि ऐसे बहुत सारे लोगों से मिले जो आपको मारना चाहते हो, क्योंकि वो स्टोरी जो थी वो एसेसिन टू कंपैशन की तरफ आगे बढ़ी। वो स्टोरी यदि आप दर्शकों को बताना चाहें।
There are many people, I'll tell you, in this world who want to kill me. There are so many people who want to kill me. ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं इस दुनिया में जो मुझे मार डालना चाहते हैं। एक ही वजह है, बिकॉज आई एम ऑनेस्ट। मैं सच्ची बात बोलता हूँ, एंड ऑनेस्ट लोगों को सच्ची बात नहीं कड़वी लगती है ना। इट इज़ नेचुरल के वी आर नॉट यूज टू लिसनिंग टू ट्रूथ, यू नो, वी आर इन दिस सो मच ऑफ दिस फेक वर्ल्ड एंड हमेशा हमको फेक चीज़ सुनने की आदत है, तो सच्ची बात कड़वी लगती है, इसलिए लोग इसको सोचते हैं इसको ख़त्म कर दो, यू नो, समाप्त कर दो इसको। मैनी पीपल, आई हैव गॉट ओपन थ्रेट्स कमिंग फ्रॉम पीपल हु सेइंग कि आओ यहाँ पे हम देखते हैं आप कैसे रहते हैं यहाँ पे, हम मार डालेंगे। मैंने कहा ठीक है मार डालो, क्या होगा। तो एक दिन एक व्यक्ति मेरे पास में आया, वन पर्सन केम टू मीट मी, आई एम टॉकिंग अराउंड ऑलमोस्ट 8 years बैक, एंड मुझे मारने की धमकी तो बहुत टाइम से आ रही है। तो एनीवे, तो ही केम टू मी, ही सेड आई वांट टू मीट यू प्राइवेटली। सो आई सेड ओके, लेट्स गो टू, आई टुक हिम टू अ कॉर्नर in the palace and said, okay, tell me what is it you want to talk to me. So he confided with me, I was hired to kill you. I said, wow, my God, hired to kill me, my goodness. मतलब, you know, imagine आप अगर आपके सामने वाला व्यक्ति आपको आया आपके पास में and he's telling you मैं आपका खूनी हूँ, how would you, you know, react? तो पहले तो मेरा थोड़ा सा रिएक्शन ऐसा हुआ, then मैंने कहा ठीक है, I brought you to a lonely place, I am armless, मेरे पास में कोई हथियार नहीं है, if you have a weapon, kill me, you know, finish your job, you know, you have been hired, so now you have been hired by AILF to interview me, so you are doing your job, you know. So similarly, if your murderer has been hired, so he has to do his job, no? उसको तो पैसा मिल रहा है ना उसके लिए. So you do your job. Why are you standing here? So he said, no, I am not come to kill you. I said, okay, if you're not come to kill me, then what have you come here for? He said, I have come here to ask for your forgiveness. मैं आपसे माफ़ी मांगने आया हूँ because I could not live this life in that guilt. I was constantly on that guilt, and that, of course, I was hired, but that वो supari fail हो गई. You know, that supari, there's a word called supari, you know, I don't know, you guys must be more familiar. There's something called, supari is not that thing which you put in the pan. There's a supari also is something which they give you to kill someone. It
Just
seems.
like in contract, like contract.
It's like a, yeah, something like that. So that supari has failed, that contract has failed, so now I am not, I will not be killing you, but I have come for forgiveness. So please forgive me, for that reason I have come. I said, come my dear, come let's chill, come let's go and have coffee. मैं उसको ले गया, we had a nice cup of coffee tea. Today that person has become my ally. He has become an ally to me. He is going around telling people to support the LGBT community. So you can imagine, and I have actually, मैंने एक word coin किया है, मेरा खुद का word है, you can use it if you want to. It's called homophobia in transition. Homophobia मेरा खुद का creation है, but you all can use it. Homophobia and transition. A person can be homophobic, extremely, hateful, would like, really hate you to the core. I mean, इससे ज़्यादा कौन क्या hate हो सकता है? Killing somebody's life, taking somebody's life is the most hateful thing which you can think of. But if you are able to transit that homophobic person into becoming an ally, then that's called homophobia in transition. So वैसा हो रहा है, और भी लोग हैं, मैंने अभी आपको खाने पे बोला है, and I would like to meet more assassins, कितने लोग अभी मुझे मारना चाहते हैं, अभी प्लीज़ आओ मेरे पास में, come to me, तो I can, मेरे पास में वो compassion है कि मैं आपसे बात कर सकूं, और I can maybe find out a way in which you can also become my allies, who knows, so we can start an assassin association.
सच ए ग्रेट स्टोरी। कंपैशन की आपने बात करी, अब मेरा जो आपसे प्रश्न है वो इसी रिगार्डिंग है। आपने जिक्र करा ओपरा विनफ्रे का, कार्डाशियंस का, बड़ी बड़ी हस्तियों से मिलने का। मानवेंद्र जी, मेरा मानना ऐसा है, जहाँ तक मैं मान रहा हूँ, कि ये सब काफ़ी समय के बाद हुआ। पहले एक जर्नी आपके अंदर शुरू हुई, वो जर्नी थी कि आप आपके जो स्टेट में थे, आपने ओपनली आके कहा कि आई एम द गे प्रिंस ऑफ इंडिया, यू बिकेम द फर्स्ट गे प्रिंस ऑफ इंडिया। तो वो जो विचार था, वो जो जर्नी थी, और आपने जिस हिसाब से आपकी कम्युनिटी में आपके प्रति जो प्यार और एक्सेप्टेंस की जो एक लड़ाई खुद शुरुआत करी, जो लड़ी, वो जर्नी आपकी कैसी रही, यदि उसके बारे में आप बताना चाहें।
Journey was very, very dramatic. And I always say that हम ड्रामा नहीं करेंगे तो खाएंगे क्या, you know. That's my favorite dialogue. So, but yes, it was definitely very, very dramatic, very challenging, because when you become first something, you know, you can imagine क्या होता है. So, बल्कि मुझे तो मालूम ही नहीं था कि, you know, that I am the first person in the world. मुझे तो इंडिया का तो खैर बाद में, even I came to know about India later on, but later on I came to know that I am the first member of a royal family in the world to openly come out as gay. So which I came to know much later, but I never did that for the becoming something first, you know, like the first person to jump or the first person to eat, or, you know, I didn't want to break any record. I just did it because I wanted to be honest, that's all. And of course I gain a lot of inspiration from Gandhi ji. I've read about him. अभी ये हम लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल की बात कर रहे हैं, तो मैंने गांधी जी के बारे में पढ़ा है. And I know that today, because of honesty, because of ahimsa, that what all he could achieve. मैंने कहा जब वो आज भारत को आज़ाद करा सकते हैं ऑनेस्टी के साथ में, तो फिर मैं मेरे LGBT फ्रेंड्स को क्यों नहीं आज़ाद करा सकता. सिर्फ में जो ऑनेस्टी होना है ना. एंड ऑनेस्टी डजंट, हाँ, ऑनेस्टी gets you a lot of hurdles in your life, you know. Lot of challenges, and people will oppose you when you try to be honest, but you stick to it. And हम लोग जानते हैं भारत में हम ये शब्द बहुत यूज़ करते हैं, सत्यमेव जयते, truth always prevails. So you may be you will be opposed by many people, you will get death threats, आपके साथ ये होगा वो होगा, मुझे घर से निकाल दिया था, मुझे बेदखल कर दिया था. Rajpipla शहर में, where I belong to, there were 2,000 people on streets burning my effigies in the fire, protesting against me. They had to call police. Imagine, you know, today all that had. वो भी एक हुआ है. वो effigy burning जो कमेटी बनी थी ना, उसके जो young generation है, they have made me their advisor now. Just imagine, you know, how the cycle has changed. I have become the advisor to the effigy burning committees, the thing, what is that, the junior club, you know, the second generation. So the changes happen, change is bound to happen. You just need to have patience and just stick to your principles in your life. Yes. What this madam was saying just now, I also read Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has given me a lot of things to learn. It's not about religion, it's not about spirituality. But I use Bhagavad Gita when I want to know answers to questions. I do the same thing as she said. I open up the book and I get answers from that.
जब आप लक्ष्य का गठन कर रहे थे, तो सबसे पहली तो चीज़ ये आपके जहन में रही होगी कि एक टीम आपको खड़ी करनी है, बहुत सारे लोग लगेंगे इस मुहिम में. तो वही मेरा प्रश्न है, जो हमारा सत्र का जो नाम है कि कंपैशनेट कम्युनिटी बिल्डिंग के इंग्रेडिएंट्स यदि मैं आपसे पूछूं तो वो क्या होंगे?
सी, जैसे मैंने पहले बोला कि यू हैव टू फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड योर सेल्फ. हु आर यू, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ पर्सन यू आर, व्हाट इज योर क्वालिटीज़, व्हाट आर योर पॉजिटिव थिंग्स इन स्ट्रेंथ्स विच यू हैव. Those things are very, very important. We have to remove all the negativity from us, you know. We keep, you know, telling about us, oh, hum ye hai, wo hai. Find out what are your positive, what is your positive, आप में क्या सकारात्मक वस्तु है आपके अंदर जो लोग दूसरे लोगों को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हैं. You know, try to find out those strengths. And you, जैसे मैंने बोला कि you need to understand the opposite person. What is that person? Find out that person's strengths and weaknesses also. You know, it is important because I do a lot of counseling. मैं बहुत counseling भी करता हूँ, and many people come to me for advice. I in fact do a lot of arbitration also. When father and son fight, they come to me. When husband and wife fight, they come to me. You know, I do that kind of things also. I'm not into legal thing and all, but as a friend, I try to help out people. And why that is possible is that when you understand both the person's aspects, why do disputes happen today? Why do disagreements happen? Because there is some lack of understanding that, you know, something has gone wrong somewhere where some misunderstandings created. So that's why there is the dispute. So how to bridge that gap? You know, like Oprah Winfrey, when I met her, I came to know that she specializes in filling cracks and, you know, mending. She repairs, you know, when some, and like suppose this phone is there, it'll fall, it'll break. You need to repair it, you know, mend it. So that kind of, you know, you should have that skill in you where you are able to repair relationships and see that how two souls rather, can live, coexist. Not just humans, even animals. I work for animals also. I told you this now for lunchtime. You know, we have a lot of wild animals with us. Just last night, I had a leopard in my farm. Can you imagine? Last night, I'm just coming back. My manager is sitting here. I had a leopard in my farm. Now, if I get scared whole night, I said, oh my God, how can I sleep with a leopard just outside my house? Then, you know, I will lose my mental peace. The first thing I did was, I told my manager, I said, let's get the dogs inside. Because, see, leopard ka nature hai. Leopard is a non-vegetarian, you know. You can't expect leopard to eat dal, bhat, shak, rotli and all, you know. He will eat the animal only, no? So we have to protect that animal. So I immediately got the dogs in my house and I said, now let the leopard be outside, do whatever it wants to do. I woke up in the morning and I think the leopard must have gone away. It had a good night's sleep in my farm and must have blessed us to give us some shade and some nice cool place to sleep. So we have to see how animals and humans can also coexist and how humans can also coexist.
My final question, and so what kind of government policies you believe that, you know, that can promote compassionate communities?
See, I think मुझे लगता है सबसे बेहतरीन अगर कोई पॉलिसी अगर गवर्नमेंट से हम एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं, उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि there is lot of discrimination happening at all levels. I mean, I'm not just talking about the LGBT community. हर एक मैं कितने लोगों से काम कर रहा हूँ. There is lot of discrimination. बहुत सारा भेदभाव होता है कई लोगों के साथ में. तो ऐसी कुछ पॉलिसीज़ डेवलप होनी चाहिए जो एंटी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन पॉलिसीज़ हो and which will penalize the persons who are रिसोर्टिंग टू डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. जो भेदभाव कर रहे हैं उन लोगों के साथ में सख्त कानूनन कार्यवाही करनी चाहिए. आज हम लोग जॉब की बात करते हैं. लेट मी गिव यू एन एग्जांपल. भारत सरकार के द्वारा लक्ष्य ट्रस्ट के ज़रिए हमने पहला ट्रांसजेंडर शेल्टर होम शुरू किया आज से 3 साल पहले. गुड आफ्टरनून मिस्टर नंदा. We'll see you later, but you just passed by, so I said, let me just talk. Yeah. Mr. Nanda has been to Rajpipla, old friend of mine. I've known him for many, many years. We have started this Garima Grah. Now, through the Garima Grah, we are trying to not just give food and shelter to the transgender community, but we are also providing them job opportunities. And I'm happy to say that there are so many people who are willing to give us jobs. We have a Shell petrol pump in Baroda, which has employed the transgender community. The Maharani of Baroda, Radhika Raje, she started a cafe called Gajra, where she is employing the community to work for her, to serve food, for cooking the food. There are a lot of opportunities. But the problem lies here is, in spite of all the opportunities which are provided, there is still a lot of discrimination happening. And people are taking that for advantage, you know. And that's why a lot of people have to leave their jobs. And so if there is some policies are developed which will ensure that no discrimination happens. And if it happens, there is there is a retort for that. You know, that there has to be some provision for people who are violating the law. Then that is one thing. Secondly, representation of the communities are very important whenever policies are made. And I'll give you another example, same example for the transgender, when the transgender protection bill was passed in 2019 by the government, by the both houses of the parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, then when the transgender, the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment was making policies based on the bill, they made it sure to have a member of a transgender community sitting in the government. And because of that representation, they could devise policies like Garima Grah and many other things. Because today, government also doesn't know our issues, you know. Only a person who's transgender can talk about their issues. A person who's visually impaired will know better about people who have eyes. A person who is physically challenged can tell better. A person who is from a certain tribe, person who's Dalit, person who's, I mean, yeah, you cannot have an animal sitting on the board, but I mean, the human has to represent the animal. But representation of that community is very important to make them understand कि हाँ ये policy बनी जा रही है इस community के ऊपर, तो वो प्रतिनिधि जो है वो सच्चा मतलब you know justice दे सकेगा, न्याय दे सकेगा वो कम्युनिटी को.
बहुत ही अच्छी बात आपने कही और तालियां हो जाएं इस बात पे. सो वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट पॉलिटिक्स एंड गवर्नमेंट. आई वांट टू नो कि जियोपॉलिटिक्स जो रहती है उसमें आपका क्या इंटरेस्ट है. ये मैं क्योंकि इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ क्योंकि अब हमारा जो अगला सेशन है जहाँ हमें पढ़ना है, देयर इज़ अ वेरी यंग ऑथर फ्रॉम ऑल द वे टू सियरा लियोन, मिस्टर अबू बकर, एंड Mr. Abu Bakar, who has written a very interesting book on geopolitics. He might be joining us after the session. Okay. So if Mr. Abu Bakar is present here, you can join us on the stage. Please, sir. Yeah. He is here from all the way to Sierra Leone. He has written a great book on geopolitics. I would like to Mr. Umashankar Yadav and S.K. Nanda, sir, to join us on the stage for the book launch.
Others there, you can just open here.
Nice from your country.
So we have
Yeah.
Very nicely covered, huh?
you can come in the center.
Yeah, please come in the city. Oh, okay. Then you can also come.
Sir, you can.
If you would like to address our people about more about your book.